I've got one question for you. Are you ready to get your game on?
The longest-running off-road motorsport radio show on the planet is coming to you live with the biggest guest in motorsports. Here is the only man on the planet who can pack this much dirt slinging and tire slinging into 2 hours a week. Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to get your ears blown. Here is Jim Beaver and Down Dirty Radio Show.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, lit up by Rigid Industries and schooled by DirtFish Rally School. I'm your host, Jim Beaver, and man, it's going to be a great action-packed show for you today. I am stoked to be back in the saddle. I know the past couple of weeks I've been at SEMA, been doing all kinds of stuff. We missed a show because I was at SEMA with other obligations, had some problems with our other radio service last week. It's been all kinds of growing pains finally with a new service this week and trying to get back on track. And no better way to get back on track than with your 2014 Baja 1000 champ, Rob MacCachren, who will be calling into the show here in just a couple of minutes. Stoked to have Rob calling in. I know he's coming back from Mexico, so I apologize if maybe some of the cell service is shoddy. He's actually still south of the border, last I heard, but we are going to have him right here on air on the Down and Dirty Show. I am stoked about that. Also, Ken Block dropping Gymkhana 7 this morning. Hopefully those of you that woke up bright and early were able to catch that. It dropped live at 7 o'clock a.m. Pacific. So I was able to watch that one playthrough. It's like 13 minutes long. But Ken definitely going over the top with this one. We are going to be talking about that today for sure. Also, those of you wanting to chat, I know some of our other service, we had a different type chat board. We're going to be utilizing Twitter even more and more now. It's at JimBeaver15, so you want to hit me with any questions, comments, concerns, or just tell me you hate me, at JimBeaver15 on Twitter, and I'll be interacting with you throughout the show. Also on tap today, we got Mitchell DeJong, GRC Lights Champ. Mitchell will be on air today. We'll be talking about his Lights Championship and maybe what the future holds for this young gun. Also, Jenn Hellstrom, a lot of you in off-road circles know her, Jenn Hell Media Group. She is an off-road photographer, journalist, and she's actually in the running for a job as a Nitro Circus tour reporter down there in the New Zealand tour. So we're going to talk to her about this contest, and she needs your votes. Let's get one of off-road's own, on tour with the Nitro Circus crew. And I can tell you already, I told her if she gets it, we want a weekly report on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, what it's like to live the life on tour with our friends at Nitro Circus. So lots and lots of good stuff, on tap for you today. Also, obviously, we'll get to some Baja 1000 results. A ton of Baja 1000 results to get to. We've got a big slam-packed DirtFish Rally report, wrapped up the WRC calendar. WRX announced their schedule, so we're definitely going to get into that. Endurocross was in action this weekend, and we're going to kind of wrap up the Stadium Super Truck Series from 2014. Also, talk a little bit about SEMA. I had the opportunity to not only be there for 3 days, but to do some drift ride-alongs with my boy Ryan Turk. So we're definitely going to talk about my experiences in a drift car. But definitely a great action-packed show for you guys today. And I am stoked just to be here. It's a beautiful Monday morning. My daughter had her 6th birthday over the weekend. So those of you who follow me on social media probably saw my backyard got invaded by this huge inflatable pink castle with a slide, and immediately get hit. How many times you go in it? I got to tell you, I went in it one time, and it's got this inflatable ladder to get up to the slide. I seriously thought I was going to pop the thing. It was, I needed a crane to lift me up to the top of this slide. The whole thing was like caving in. So I can say I did it one time. So those of you who saw the pictures, I did do it. I did it one time, but I tell you what, I don't know. they say they can sustain a lot of weight. I don't know if I'm just getting out of shape or what, but I got to tell you that that poor inflatable ladder was definitely hurting. That's the easiest way to put it, man. So stoked my daughter had her 6th birthday. It's always a good time, lots of family and friends. And, got to take in the GRC finale on NBC on Sunday. Hopefully you guys caught that. If you didn't, it's going to be re-airing quite a bit, actually. I think they're going to have a rerun on NBC Sports, but then NBC's website on demand. Also, I think Red Bull's got maybe their live stream from the event. It's up on Red Bull's website, so if you missed it on NBC, plenty of opportunity. But I got to tell you, I was there, had the opportunity to announce for Red Bull Global Rallycross with my partner in crime, Jared Deanda, and it was one of the best rallycross races I've ever seen. I mean, and I've seen some good ones over the past 3 or 4 years, but this absolutely can't miss TV. I mean, Ken Block, Johnny Weeman, Bucky Lassick throwing it down in the finale. Scott Speed in the mix. So you definitely want to go back and watch that when you get the opportunity, because it's I don't want to say can't miss TV, but it's about as close as you can get to that. But speaking of can't miss TV, how about those Arizona Cardinals? I know we got fans from all over the United States and international fans, but I just got to rub it in a little bit. I have to rub it in because my Cardinals 9-1. 9-1. All the NFL experts counted us out when Palmer went down, and we came back, beat Detroit, who's number 2 in the NFC right now. So Cardinals holding it down. Man, it's definitely the Red Nation, 9-1. So I don't know. It's going to be pretty tough for us not to make the playoffs. And then also other big sporting event going on, if you want to call it sporting event, motorsports, but NASCAR. We're not going to talk about it here. We're going to get dirty, talk some off-road and rally and a little drifting today. But congrats goes out to Kevin Harvick, who is your NASCAR champion this year. So Kevin Harvick, one of the personalities over there that I actually like, and like I said, he is definitely a personality. So congrats goes out to Kevin Harvick on wrapping that up. But if you want any more NASCAR talk, I'm sure there is hundreds of radio shows all over the place that will be talking about Kevin Harvick, but you're not gonna hear it here. Lots of stuff happening this weekend. And like I said, the Baja 1000, the granddaddy of them all, worldwide. I think there was, it's been a while since I've ran one of these polls, but I think it's one of the five most recognizable motorsports events in the entire world. It definitely shows you the caliber. It's definitely, it shows you the caliber of the event. I mean, it's definitely, it's huge. I mean, you've got, Baja 1000, Indy 500, Daytona 500, and those are, the big ones here. You've got Dakar Rally, 24 Hours Le Mans, Formula One race in Monte Carlo. So we're talking about some elite company, that the Baja 1000's in, and it's, I don't know. I mean, to win the Baja 1000, for any off-road driver, I mean, it's the biggest thing you can do, and especially to do it overall. I mean, just a class victory is huge, but to take the whole thing overall, like our guest Rob MacCachren did, it's just absolutely insane. It's just insane. You've got hundreds and hundreds of competitors, and to be able to to be able to do that. Oh, and this year over 1,300 miles. I mean, I was talking about it with my dad this morning, and my dad, I'm sure most of you know by now, but I mean, he's an off-road veteran. He raced for like 35 years in Class 8, and that was when Class 8 was, quote, the trophy truck class. I mean, that's where you had Ivan Stewart, Walker Evans, the list goes on. Jimmy Johnson, he used to race Class 8. This was before trophy truck. It was kind of the segue to trophy truck. But, I mean, back in the 70s and 80s, I mean, this is where, the big guys ran. My dad raced in that class for 35 years. And, we were talking about, the Baja 1000. he's driven in a lot of Baja 1000s, and sometimes we're only at 750, 800 miles when they're the loop race. Some of the point-to-point ones are 900, 1,000, 1,100 miles, but almost 1,300 miles this year was the point-to-point. I mean, we're talking about numbers like, Score did for the Millennium. They had the Baja 2000, and I don't even know if that was quite 2,000 miles. What Roger Norman did this year was, you're talking about an epic journey. And, I know, I don't know how many guys actually soloed this. I know BJ Baldwin attempted to in the trophy truck. I guess he got sick. His dad jumped in. But I do know there was some motorcycle racers that soloed the whole thing. And I got to tell you, those are the true champions right there. Tip of the cap to those guys to do, almost 1,300 miles on a dirt bike. And, we're talking about some of the roughest terrain in the world. And, over 24 hours straight. It's just mind-boggling. I don't know if I could drive 1,300 miles on a motorcycle in a straight line on asphalt here in the United States, more or less off-road in Baja. I mean, it's just, as I like to say, batshit crazy. I mean, that's, big mucho respect for those guys. I mean, that's definitely as good as it gets. These guys are the true champions. I know, and speaking of that, I mean, some of the limited classes, class 11, to be able to do 1,300 miles in a stock Volkswagen, that's pretty epic, man. Definitely those guys have earned my respect. Actually, anybody who's finished that race, anybody who finished the Baja 1000, this year has definitely earned my respect. It's absolutely probably, and I'm looking forward to getting Rob Mac's opinion on this, but one of the most brutal Baja 1000s I can ever remember. And granted, I've never raced a Baja 1000. I'm not going to lie to you guys and tell you I'm some Baja veteran. I've raced a Baja 500 quite a few times. The cards just haven't fallen in place to do the Baja 1000. I've had opportunities. They weren't the right opportunities. So, I just haven't done it. I'm, being honest with you guys, but, this one, gosh, I mean, it's just, sometimes they're not as long and, but they're just grueling. I know last year was one of those. But I think this year it was both, one of the longest ones that any of us can remember. And it was also, one of the most grueling ones any of us can remember. So, it's pretty, I don't know, man. This one definitely goes down in the history books as one of the great Baja 1000s, in history. And I know Roger Norman definitely wanted to put his stamp on things, and I think he definitely did it with this one. People are going to remember this Baja 1000, and just the logistics for a team to go down there. I know Rob, he posted something like over 100 guys were supporting his effort. I mean, this isn't one where you just go down with a box fan, and a dozen guys and make it happen. I mean, if you're going to do this right, I mean, he had 3 drivers and basically they combined 3 pit crews into his team to make things happen. I mean, just absolutely mind-boggling the logistics. Lots of respect for, like I said, anybody that did it, anybody that finished it, anybody that attempted to. I mean, geez, even getting halfway through is an accomplishment of this one. So, I mean, Baja 1000, an epic journey, and, props to them. Props to Rob Mac, Andy McMillan, Jason Voss. They were dubbed the Dream Team, right? And definitely came through. The Dream Team definitely, they were named that, and they definitely made things happen. I don't know. There's a lot of talk. Who could you pick as your dream team if you could pick any other teammates and stuff like that? And I look and I go, Rob did it. I mean, who else do you throw into that mix? I mean, Robbie Gordon. I mean, it's just I don't know. I mean, talk about there's a lot of guys that are elite caliber. I mean, the Vidoslas, BJ Baldwin, Bryce Menzies, Jesse Jones. But Rob, he picked, 2 of the best, teamed up and, went out and won. And I mean, sheesh, you look at victories over the past 2 years between Rob, Andy, and Jason Voss. They pretty much won everything. So definitely setting himself up for success, and that's what happened. I mean, I followed most of the tracking over the course of the day, and very few times did you see that truck not out front. And, it was definitely an epic, just an epic event. And, I'm curious to see what kind of problems, they encountered, because it seems to me just watching online, they never really had much downtime. I mean, maybe a flat or two. There's very few times you even saw you saw them stopped. I mean, it was just everything put together. And, guys like Bryce Menzies, who ended up having engine problems. Obviously, we know about BJ, and he got sick. His dad, who's an accomplished driver, his dad definitely can wheel a trophy truck. He ended up breaking an axle. It's definitely, I don't know, man. It's one for the history books. Robbie, he was out front, led for a while. He ended up having problems. Talk real quick about Sheldon Creed. Sheldon popping in there and doing a leg for Robbie. I don't know how many miles. Was it 150, 170, 200 miles? I don't have the exact figure, but Sheldon holding it down. Seemed like Sheldon did pretty good. And as far as I know, maybe that was his first competition experience in a trophy truck. We all know that. We all know Sheldon can wheel a short course truck. Obviously, he's dominated stadium super trucks. Him and Robbie, and then on the short course side of things, I mean, pro light, he just he's always up front. It seems like the kid pretty much wins in anything he's doing. And Robbie's got a knack for finding these young guns and throwing them in the truck. Let's not forget, and those of you just coming into the picture. Maybe not as familiar with desert racing as some of us. Andy McMillan, who won with Rob MacCachren, he got his start as a teammate of Robbie Gordon back when Robbie, I think, was with Red Bull. Same trophy truck, obviously it's gone through some upgrades, but Robbie, hired Andy McMillan to drive with him, and Andy got a Baja 1000 win with Robbie Gordon doing a leg similar to how Sheldon Creed did. So, that's when Andy Mack was maybe 18 years old, maybe 19 years old. So, Andy, veteran now, but, there was a time he was just a young kid, probably younger than Luke, and winning races. And Robbie, brought him under his sleeve, and, they won a Baja 1000. So it looked like Robbie was kind of trying to run a similar path as he did with Andy with Sheldon Creed. And that's one thing I've got a lot of respect. I mean, Robbie could have got anybody in off-road to team up with him. Heck, he could have got his dad. His dad is, his dad is just absolutely a legend. And he can definitely hold it down. And he opted with the young gun, the unproven talent as far as desert racing goes. And here we are. They ran up front for quite a while. I never heard the exact reasoning. What problems they had, but definitely some front runners. As we talk here, told you we're using Twitter kind of as our chat platform now at JimBeaver15. Tag me on Twitter if you got any questions, comments, concerns, and some of the comments we've got coming in right now. Talking a little bit about the live stream. Needs to be sorted out. And I got to tell you, I tend to agree with you. I watched some of it, and it was hit and miss. Doing live stream, even just audio is tough. Remotely. I mean, I do remote broadcasts from all over. And especially when you're really remote and you can't find Wi-Fi or a hard internet line. You have to push things back. And, and you've actually got to use a satellite connection, and then things get really hit and miss. But, granted, I think, could it have been better? But looks like we got Rob MacCachren calling in right now, so we're going to pick up our 2014 Baja champ. How's everything going, Rob?
It's good. How are you?
I am doing good, my friend. I got to tell you, you've made a lot of trips back from La Paz, but this has got to be one of the best trips you've ever taken back. Got to have a smile on your face this whole trip, huh?
Absolutely. We left La Paz yesterday morning, drove up to El Rosario, and then got this morning, and we've just been in Ensenada this morning, rearranging all the chase trucks and picking up stuff that we left there at the beginning of the race, and now I'm headed north.
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit about this race. You go back to the beginning. I mean, we heard about this dream team kind of brewing, and then you made the announcement. I mean, I was just talking about it before you called in. I mean, between you and Andy McMillan and Jason Voss, I don't know if anybody else has won a race the past 2 years in trophy trucks. So, I mean, you definitely had the field covered there.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year, Andy and I, we raced together in the Baja 1000, and we ended up coming in second place. Andy had a flat tire about mile 650, and it ended up going not so well with the jack, and everything went wrong. He lost about 10 minutes with that flat and let BJ get ahead of us, and we caught back up to him, and I followed him into the finish. Basically, I could never get by him to get the position back to take the win, and it really bummed Andy and I out that happened, and it was so close, yet so far away. So this year, we decided to do it again, and 6 months out, we started talking about it, and then we had a plan in place where I was going to start, Andy do the middle, and then I would get in and do the finish. And then when the hurricane happened, we started hearing all the rumors of the devastation, especially on southern Baja and the highways and the race course, and we figured out that it's probably not a good idea that I try to do the first third and the last third. I might not be able to get down there in time with what we thought was the devastation of the highways. So about a month ago, right after Placer City race, I woke up one morning and I was thinking to myself, wouldn't it be nice to have 3 drivers and make the difficulty of the course of what we thought, with the hurricane. We thought the course was going to be really, really rough and take, at least 24 hours to finish. So Andy said he was thinking the same thing, and I ended up trying to brainstorm to come up with somebody. And later that day, I was talking to Kevin Croyer, who built our engines, and mentioned to him that, we were looking to find a third person to take a small section for us. And he said, well, why don't you call Jason Voss? And I thought, he's committed to someone already. And he's like, no, he's not. And I'm like, no, he is. And I even looked up on the score site and saw that he was signed up. And I told Kevin, I'm looking at it right now. He signed up with somebody else. And he said, Rob, let me tell you, he's absolutely not committed to anybody. So, well, give me his phone number. So before I called him, I texted Andy and said, what do you think about Jason Voss? And he was like, are you serious? And I said, absolutely. So he was all for it, and I gave the call to Jason, talked to him for about 30 minutes, and gave him all the details. He wanted to give me, talk to his dad and his family and his crew about it and get back to me the next day. And he called me bright and early the next day, and he was on board, which, then we had, not only the resources that I have, and bringing with me to the desert races, but we added the McMillan resources and now the Voss resources, which for the rest of that day, I just, I couldn't believe what we had just done. And every time I turned around and thought about another asset that we had, just more and more things kept popping up about how positive this was and all the assets that the 3 teams together had brought, to win this race. And in the end, it all came together. It was a great run for us. We had no mechanical issues with the truck. And, the funny thing is my job, I qualified second and drove the first 472 miles. And my job was basically just to take the truck from the start line, hand it off to Andy in a good spot, and make sure the truck was still in 100% condition. Andy was somewhat similar to that. That was his plan, is just keep the truck in good shape and hand it to Jason and see where we're at, and then let Jason handle the dirty work at the end. And when Jason got in the truck, he was about 6 minutes or so on physical time ahead of Robbie, and about 10 minutes ahead of Luke McMillan physically in front of them. And within 40 miles, this first 40 miles, he was putting a minute a mile on those 2 guys, and that's when I really realized how good this plan had come together. Jason was fresh, and he was going to make a sprint to the finish. And ultimately, Robbie and Luke both had problems around the Loretto area, and it ended up giving us a 25-minute lead pretty quickly, and then we just cruised it on in.
Yeah, well, talking about this Baja 1000, I mean, you've driven, a ton of Baja 1000s. I mean, as far as how grueling it was, I mean, 1,300 miles, but I mean, and talk about, the course. I mean, was this the toughest 1000 you've ever done?
It had, it had a lot of different stuff in it. This is the first time in a long time we went out to the Pacific Beach from about mile 215 to 263 before we went back inland. And during pre-running at night, I ended up encountering fog on a couple nights, and I talked to Andy right after that had happened about his section, and he said the same thing. He was pre-running at night around Gymkhana, the mid-section of the course, and he had fog. And the next day I talked to Jason, and Jason was getting up every morning and starting his pre-running at 4 a.m. That was what he thought he'd get in the race truck. And he had, one of his days where he had fog from about mile 1030 to 1080. And I was like, wow, it's crazy. We had all the elements, preparing themselves, for the an incredible Baja 1000. Ultimately, in the race, everything went well. I think Jason's the only one that had fog during the race, and Andy and I didn't. But the course, I mean, it was a great course. The course the hurricane did tear things up heavily, but within the 4 weeks leading up to the race, SCORE along with people from Southern Baja, they went out and fixed a lot of the problems and filled things in. And actually, the race course, for the most part, was pretty quick. I mean, we averaged 56 miles an hour. I know they've averaged 60 before, so it wasn't the fastest one, but it was definitely a tough one, like always. And we had a good strategy, really, to be honest with you. The strategy, put it all together. It was easy. In the end, for me, I think, it was pretty easy. Only having to drive 472 miles, only having to pre-run 472 miles. And my team guys pretty much did first, third. They continued on, but every time we picked up a driver, we picked up more pits. So at the end of the race, we had 9 chase trucks chasing the last 300 miles.
Yeah. And talking about the truck, I mean, I watched, the live, the tracking most of the day. I mean, you guys didn't seem like, no problems. I mean, it didn't even look like you had many flats. I mean, it just looked like you guys just kept on trucking, right?
No, absolutely. The race, Robbie Gordon qualified first. I qualified second. BJ was third. And I can tell you for the first, really all the way to Bay of LA, we were all within a mile of each other. At times we were 100 yards from each other going down the highway and going to Valley T. Robbie was 100 yards in front of me, and Bryce was 100 yards behind me. We pretty much did that all the way down to Bay of LA. And Bryce ended up getting lead in a pit stop when Robbie pitted. Now 341, Bryce got ahead of him and got in between the two of us, and just outside of Bay of LA. From what I'm told, Bryce lost the motor, and then it was from there all the way out to El Datil back on the Pacific side after San Ignacio, about mile 750, 780. Robbie had a flat tire, and he got ahead of him, and from then on we were lead truck on the road, and Mason got in and had really no pressure. Once he got in, we gave him split times and how far back the next truck was, and like I said earlier, instantly he was putting about a minute every 10 miles on the two guys that were close to us at the time. So it went well. It was a lot of fun. The crew, we had over 100 people pitting and helping us, at this race. From the Baja Fools, the Voss pit support team had about 15 people. The McMillan team had about 12 people. And my team probably had about 30 of my own people. And, so everything went good. A lot of people, a lot of organization, and it all came together. It took, months of preparation, planning on who needs to be where at what time, and keeping everybody together. It went well. Everybody did their job, and it definitely paid off with the win.
Yeah. Well, and talking about, the 1,000, obviously, you teaming up with multiple drivers, I know there for a while, it seemed like the past couple of years, I mean, Trophy Truck, I mean, our race had been decided, some of them less than 30 seconds. So it was, driver needs to stay in the truck as much as he can because we can't risk a driver swap because you may lose 30 seconds. Do you feel like with this race, maybe going back to, say, Baja 500 and future Baja 1000s, maybe a team of drivers is going to be, better fit for some of the longer races than one driver trying to stay fresh and stretch it the entire race?
Well, this one, once we did sign up the so-called Dream Team, the pressure really became on the race truck and the logistics and the support crews and the pits, and it came off the drivers. On the other hand, I thought to myself, if we don't win this, and a team with one driver or two driver wins it, we can beat the butt of all jokes. You try to put this together and it doesn't happen. But, in the end, with hindsight, I said it before, Jason getting in the truck for Loretto, I mean, he went to bed and slept Thursday night while Andy and I were racing. When I got out, Andy got in and he drove. I drove for 9 hours, and he drove for, I think, 7 hours. And for most of that time, Jason had a good meal. He went to dinner. His pit crew went to dinner. They woke up at about 3:30 a.m. and went to where they're going to get in. And Jason got in the truck at 4:45. So he was fresh like a new day. And I thought about this before. Same thing happened in 2007 when I won the Baja 1000 with Mark Post that went to Cabo. Mark drove the last section and he got in the truck about 7:30 in the morning, and he was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed all the way to the finish. So. I don't know. I mean, it definitely lightened the load for all the drivers. It maximized our pre-running and the pit support, and I think it definitely helps. Can it be done without three? Absolutely. I just think it made it easier. It really, it was 1,275 miles. It was grueling. It had all the elements. It had mud and lots of silt beds, and it was dusty just like always. But in the end, for us, breaking up three ways with guys like Andy McMillan, who's undefeated in the trophy truck this year. He won the Mid 400 with Serapis. He won a Placer City Score race in my truck, and now he won the Baja 1000 with Jason and I. So he's 3 for 3, and Boss, he's won 3 out of the 4 Best in Desert races, and now for him winning the 4th race. So Jason's 4 out of 5, and before the race started, BF Goodrich Tires put together a press release, and it had posted all the the winners on BFG Tires this year, and there was 8 winners in trophy truck or trick truck races this year, and Jason and Andy had won 6 of those. So I realized we got a really good chance at winning this race, but the pressure's on, and we need to win, and it came out good.
Yeah, for sure. And before we let you go, Rob, because I know you're still traveling home, looking at 2015, obviously we're going to see you back in trophy truck, I'm assuming, of some sort in some series, and then short course, both Pro 2 and Pro 4 again?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be doing the Lucas Oil Short Course Series again, both Pro 2 and Pro 4. Like to get our championship back. This year we finished both second in Pro 2 and second in Pro 4 in the championship, and we really like to move those both up a notch. So we'll be doing that again, and absolutely be racing the Rockstar Energy Trophy Truck again. And we haven't completely decided yet. It's somewhat inviting to not race a whole series for the points and maybe pick and choose, the big ones. So currently we're still working with, our sponsors, Rockstar Energy and BF Goodrich, and deciding what events we're going to hit next year. We'll also be doing the Frozen Rush again with the Pro 4. There'll be 10 guys taking our Pro 4s to Maine, up to a ski resort there, and we'll be running around the snow. We'll be doing that in early January, and that'll kick off the season for us.
Yeah, and how was that? I mean, I don't think I've talked to you about that, but how was that? I mean, it's something so different than you've probably ever done, huh?
No, absolutely. I born and raised in Las Vegas. Didn't really ever in my life have to drive in the snow or ice or anything like that. And, I was concerned that, I didn't have any experience of that. And some of the other guys that come from the Midwest that, spend the winters in the snow, they'd have an advantage. But, BF Goodrich came and they supplied everyone with tires with spikes in them. They were about 1 inch long spikes, and they put hundreds of them in the tires. and I was blown away by how great the traction was, on snow. And the biggest thing was that not only traction being very good, but it was very consistent. In short course racing on the mud or clay, you have different varying conditions of dirt surface, and the grip level changes quite often. While in the snow, it stays very, very consistent. So, I really enjoyed myself and had a good time, and we can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, it looked like just an insane event. Other than that, it's just out of left field at you. But anything you haven't done or haven't raced that you'd like to do? I mean, King of the Hammers. I know you and Tanner obviously have teamed up in short course. Maybe seeing a one-off in a GRC car or something.
I keep fucking him trying to put something together. Just do a little media thing with us switching cars. You let me. He's already got to drive my Pro 2, but I want to go drive his rally car sometime. And, we're just trying to put something like that together. It hasn't happened. I'd like to try it and see what it's about. I really like it. And we'll see. The other thing, we're going to do King of the Hammers again this year with the Poison Spider with Larry McRae. He's been kind enough. In 2010, I did it for my first time, and he rode with me. And this year, he asked me at the Off-Road Expo if I had any interest in doing that. At SEMA show, we talked some more, and I made a commitment to run with him in his vehicle there at the King of the Hammer. So I'm excited about that. And other than that, someday we need to go to Dakar, but I want to do that with a very good effort. I don't want to go and just go try it out. I'd like to go with a good effort, which is the hard part. It really is. Dakar is a year-round preparation. Actually, it's multi-years to be able to be successful there. You have to do it multiple years and year-round, be preparing for that. And I don't know, at this time, I don't think, anybody in the U.S. is doing everything that it takes to actually go win the thing. And I'd really like to see something, Team USA with a year-round shop with multiple cars, testing year-round and trying to go win that thing. That's what I'd like to see, and that's the kind of team that I'd like to be part of to go do the Dakar.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know you are traveling back, my friend. I appreciate you taking the time to call in, and congrats on the 1,000 win, and we'll probably see you in a couple of weeks at Henderson.
Yep, we'll be there. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Rob, and congrats once again.
Take care.
All right, that was Rob MacCachren, your 2014 Baja 1000 champ. You heard it from him. The dream team. I don't know. I can compare that team. Seriously, MacCachren, McMillan, and Voss. That would have been like Magic and Bird and Jordan all played on the same team. Like, seriously, I mean, it's just insane. And you heard Rob. He says it's only fair. Tanner Faust drove my Pro 2. I want to drive the Red Bull GRC car. So hopefully we see that sometime soon. But great catching up with Rob. We are going to take a short commercial break, and we come back. We're going to have off-road journalist and photographer Jenn Hellstrom. She's going to be calling in, and we're going to talk a little Nitro Circus. She's trying to become the official Nitro Circus Tour reporter for the New Zealand tour, kicking things off in 2015. So hang tight, and we will be right back.
DirtFish Rally School is the premier rally driving school on the West Coast, located in Snoqualmie, Washington. If you're looking for a ton of fun with world-class driving instructors hone your skills, DirtFish is the place for you. DirtFish has 315 acres of playground with mixed surfaces for your driving experience. You can spend anywhere from 2 hours to 3 intense days of instruction refining your driving and racing skills. Whether you are looking for credits towards your Rally America license, hone your racing skills, or just having a fun time, DirtFish is your school. Your classroom is behind wheel of a 300 horsepower rally-prepped Subaru STI. These cars have protective cages, suspension modifications, and are built for one purpose: to push you to your limit. By the end of your time at DirtFish, you will have the confidence to rally with the best. Whether you're looking for a thrilling first-time rally experience or to increase your knowledge and time in the driver's seat, DirtFish has a driving experience to suit your needs. For any information on their classes, corporate events, or their facility, check them out on the web at www.dirtfish.com or on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at DirtFish Rally. Rigid Industries is the original #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com. Very few companies can call themselves an industry leader. Racetech Seats is one of the few. It doesn't matter if you race off-road, rally, touring cars, sprint cars, drag racing, or boats. Chances are, Racetech Seats have a seat that will keep you safe, secure, and comfortable, allowing you to concentrate on winning. Racetech Seats meet and exceed the FIA crash test standard, are non-compatible, flame-resistant, and offer full containment, meaning you can race knowing you are protected by the best. More information can be found at www.racetech-usa.com. That's www.racetech-usa.com. Racetech Seats. Our passion is to keep you safe.
Okay, when you're on the job, you're making tough decisions around the clock. Well, here's an easy one. Ford F-Series. Under the hood, F-Series trucks have the power and fuel efficiency you need. Translation? You can always tackle the toughest jobs without losing a fortune at the pumps. But it's not just all brawn and no brains. F-Series trucks also have a cutting-edge selection of smart technology that keeps you connected, focused, and informed, all while behind the wheel. That's why on average, every 42 seconds, someone forks over their hard-earned cash to get a new F-150 or Super E. No wonder they're the best-selling brand of trucks in America for 37 years in a row. The competition never stood a chance. Ford F-150, Ford Super E. #1 for 37 years straight. Not convinced? Get behind the wheel of an F-150 or Super E and decide for yourself. Go online to your local FordDealers.com, then visit your Arizona Ford dealer for a test drive today. Based on U.S. sales from October 2012 through October 2013.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, lit up by Rigid Industries and schooled by DirtFish Rally School. Just got done with your 2014 Baja 1000 champ, Rob MacCachren, probably one of the greatest ever to sit behind the wheel of an off-road vehicle. And I'm not just talking desert racing, short course. I mean, Rob's done it all. Heck, we've even talked in past episodes with Rob on air. He's tried his hand at NASCAR trucks and actually took a victory there. So, you want to talk about just great talents, and Rob MacCachren is definitely one of those. Right now, though, we are going to get to none other than Jenn Hellstrom, off-road journalist and photographer. Looks like she's calling in. How's everything going, Jenn? Jenn, you there? Maybe we're going to get to Jenn. Hey, Jenn, you there? Hey, try and call back in, Jenn. I don't know what's going on here. Say we're having a problem with the phone line or something. Weird. If all else fails, I'll just call her. But yeah, it was just a great time with Rob Mac. Here we go. You there, Jenn? I don't know what is going on with this thing. Bizarre. So weird. Hold on. You there, Jenn? You hear me? Jeez. I don't know what's going on. You there, Jenn? Well, I promise you guys we're going to get to Jenn Hellstrom at some point. I'm having a problem with a phone line, I guess. I don't know what's going on here. Let me see if I can give Jenn a call. See if this will work this way. All right, you there, Jenn? Yeah, I don't know what was going on there, but we got you now, and that's all that matters, right?
Yep, and thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, so first off, let's jump right into the good stuff. We'll talk about you here in just a little bit, but before we do that, right now you got something really important going on. Only got a couple days to make this happen. You are trying to become the official Nitro Circus tour reporter for the New Zealand tour, correct?
Facebook feed, and I saw Nitro Circus post this link about sending in a video to become the official tour reporter for their New Zealand tour. So I look at it, and I'm like, something I'm super interested in, and I see I have 5 days to get a video done and get votes in. So knocked the video out with some of my friends, sent it in, and it's been up for a little over 24 hours now, and I'm up to 48th place, and I need to just stay right there in the top 50 in order to make it to the next round.
And you can vote every day for this, correct?
You can. However, today is the last day to vote in order for me to get to the next round.
Okay, so those of you listening in live, I put the post up on my social media feed yesterday and my Facebook yesterday. I'll do it again later today, but Jenn needs your help. Go and vote. Let's get one of Off-Road Zone into the top 50. And like I said, I'm putting you on the spot. If you get in, I want to call into the show every week and a report from what's happening in New Zealand.
I can only imagine the things that I would have to report hanging out with the Nitro Circus crew and in New Zealand. So I'm sure we would have plenty to talk about.
Yeah, it would. I'm sure it would be exciting. Let's talk a little bit about you, though, because a lot of people in the off-road industry they know you. But give us kind of the rundown on Jenn Hellstrom, what you do, and I know you've been fortunate enough in the past. You've worked with Red Bull, Menzies Motorsports, Ricky Johnson, Bryce, I think Pastrana at one point.
Mm-hmm. Growing up, I was always going to off-road races with my dad, kind of like a lot of people in the industry. That's how you get into it. And I had 2 passions, photography and off-road racing, and I just kind of meshed the 2 together. And I was lucky enough that Steve Menzies let me work for Menzies Motorsports, and I got a lot of great experience and built a lot of amazing relationships. And after that, I decided to start Jenn Hell Media Group and be able to work with more companies and more teams and just be able to put myself out there more. So from there, I started doing photography, graphic work, website stuff, creative writing, more storytelling, press releases, and just going from there. I've been doing it on my own now for 2 years, and I'm happy that I'm able to make it work, and I'm thankful for guys like you who are giving me, business and putting my name out there.
Well, and you've done some pretty cool stuff. I know, we had, it's lucky enough, I was working with Red Bull, on the Red Bull Air Race thing. We had Kirby Chambliss on air and Rob from Arizona, Las Vegas, Red Bull. I was talking with him, and then, you told me you were working with him too, and I didn't get the chance to go out to Red Bull Air Race. Tell me how that was.
Red Bull Air Race is amazing. If anybody ever gets the opportunity to go, I've been 3-4 times now. Unfortunately, the one here in Vegas, it was so windy that they had to cancel it, but they will be back here next year and the year after that. But they go all out for their events, and so being able to work with them, you really get an experience for how things go for an event like that. And, the direction of going towards working with Red Bull is something that would be awesome to do, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, and let's talk a little bit about desert racing, because, you've covered short course, you've covered the desert side of things. and one thing I got to say is I have a lot of respect for in particular off-road photographers, not just motorsports photographers, but off-road photographers. You guys, with short course, I mean, you kind of know where the jumps are. You kind of know where some of the action's going to be, so you can kind of set yourself up accordingly. But with desert racing, I mean, say the Mint 400, you've got 100-mile track, so it's kind of almost a big gamble to get the good shot, isn't it?
It is, and it takes a lot of research. And just like the drivers have to pre-run, a lot of the photographers will go out and pre-run the course as well, so you can know where to get the good shots. And then you also, when race day comes, we have a game plan as well. You want to be at race mile 3 and take pictures of everybody coming by right off the start. But then you got to get to race mile 80 so you can get that awesome shot of the trucks going through the silt. And so you're on a time crunch as well. And that's what makes it fun. I think shooting desert for me is my favorite because of that adrenaline that you get out of it.
Well, and I like to say there's some of us like you and me, and we're products of off-road. It's just we grew up around it. We've been in it. We've had opportunities to go and do other things, but there's something that always brings us back to desert racing. And I don't know. It's hard to explain to anybody who didn't grow up in it. You know what I mean? But there's something that always just draws you back in.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if it's the fact that when those trucks go by you and there's just nothing else that matters in the world to them. And not only that, but seeing how the vehicles work nowadays. I've been fortunate enough to ride with guys like BJ Baldwin and Bryce Menzies in their trucks, and you brace yourself for this huge whoop section coming up, and then the next thing you know is you're all the way through it and you didn't even feel a thing. And so for people to come out and see how those trucks work, I think is what really grabs their attention. But then you also have the guys who are out there in the 11 class racing the Baja 1000, and that is just straight endurance. And we have to give those guys props because that's something that I'll never be able to do.
Yeah, it's just pretty crazy. But you have had some seat time in an off-road car in races, right?
I have. I've been fortunate enough to race in the Powder Puck race in a Champ car, Class 13. And then I also did Snore's Battle at Prim a few years ago in the same class. And I'm addicted. It was the only 2 times I've driven, but one of those things where once you do it, you just want to keep getting back in and back in. But unfortunately, I have to go photograph the races for work, so the opportunity to drive doesn't come often.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask you, because, I mean, you've had the opportunity, obviously, cover a lot of desert races, obviously a ton of short course. I mean, any events that stick out in your mind is some of the most fun that you've actually been to?
Mint 400, just because of the turnout that we get for it is amazing lately. Rad Media is doing a great job with that. One that I want to go cover is the Red Bull Frozen Rush, which Rob MacCachren touched on that he's going to be there. And Red Bull just started this a few years ago, and their first official race was the beginning of this year. I think being able to see the power of Pro 4s in the snow and photographing it is something that not many people have done before, but is an experience that's going to be unlike any other. So I really would like to try and get myself there at the beginning of the year and shoot that event.
Yeah, I think, that's definitely one I've got, earmarked in my calendar is, I don't know if I'm going to get to go this year, but it's one I definitely want to make happen at some point because, just seeing it explode. I know Ricky did a one-off and just kind of a demo, and then last year talking with the guys, I know I've talked with Todd LeDuc and now Rob and a few others that have done it. They're just like, it's so much fun.
I'm curious what the difference is for how the truck handles between the dirt and the snow. Obviously, you see the BFG, they do something to the tires so the trucks get more grip, but it's a great event, and I love the fact that Red Bull pushes things outside of the box and gives us opportunity to go shoot new things like that.
Yeah. Well, and let's talk, too, because I know, obviously with Menzies, I believe you've been back to Crandon. How was the whole Crandon experience?
incredible. I don't think there's necessarily a word that you can even use to explain Crandon. My favorite part, obviously, of being a photographer, you get to get down close to the track. Standing in turn one when those trucks come by and going over 100 miles per hour, taking pictures, your heart stops, and then they go by you so fast that my hair like flies up in the air, and it's just, the ground shakes, and it's a crazy experience. So if you ever get to do it, try and go stand in turn one.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask you, because anybody that's been to Crandon and they come on the show, they know the question's coming. So what's your favorite Crandon moment, and have you did you make your way into Jurassic Park?
I have never made my way into Jurassic Park.
So you weren't a participant in the naked slip and slide or anything like that, right?
No, I don't think that you will see me doing any naked slip and slide. Too many picture taking and photographing and videoing going on there, and I don't really want that all over the internet.
Yeah.
But I've heard stories, and maybe next time I go back there, I'll make my way back and just check it out and take some good pictures for everybody.
I got to tell you, being a photographer, being able to walk through Jurassic Park, I could only imagine the stuff, probably a lot of it you can't even post on the internet, on any reputable site. But, I could only imagine it'd be pretty fun shooting some lifestyle stuff back there, though.
I would love to maybe just even post up in a tree, kind of creeper status, so people don't even know I'm taking pictures.
Yeah.
Because that's when you get the best stuff right there. Get people in their element.
Yeah. Be kind of cool to do something on a time delay or something, where it takes random pictures every couple of minutes or something like that. And, you have this whole thing throughout the day, something like that. I could see that being kind of cool. Time-lapse video or something.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. You don't even necessarily have to go back into Jurassic Park to see how crazy it is, because the fans will walk around at 9 a.m. still drunk from the night before and stumble. When I worked at Menzies, we had a fan stumble in still up from drinking the night before at about 9 a.m. It was the funniest thing. Ricky Johnston just goes up to them and just starts messing with them, and they love it, though. That's what they're there for. The fans eat that stuff up. So.
Yeah, that's Crandon to short course, and the people there is like going to, the Parker 425 or the Mint 400. I mean, people that are there are hardcore off-road people, and they're just stoked to be there, and, and I can totally see that. Just they know all about the sport. They know the drivers, the personalities, who's got how many wins, who's this, who's that, and so that's what makes it fun, because you can converse with these people on, on the same level you're at.
Well, and what makes it nice, too, is when you get out there and you talk to the fans, and then you have to go back and write a press release or a story. You have those relatable experiences and things that you can put in there, and that's what I like to do. I don't just like to recap a race. I like to get the readers involved and make them feel like they're there. So how you do that is by going and talking to the drivers about their race, what they experienced, and then also another view from the fans. So.
Yeah, for sure. So circling back, we've got this Nitro Circus contest going on. If you were to get it, when's this New Zealand tour kick off? I know it's in 2015. Is it right at the start of the year?
You know what? I haven't even looked yet, because I was so focused on making the video and getting the video done. I'm going to go ahead and assume it's at the beginning of the year, because they said I would have to have a passport by December, and thankfully for me, it's been to Baja numerous times, so I already have that passport, and I'm ready to go. Yeah,
you're ready to rock it. Just give you the phone call and give you the nod, right?
Yes, exactly. Put me on that plane. I'll be there.
So speaking of 2015, though, obviously, we know the Nitro Circus thing. Past that, what's on tap for Jenn Hellstrom shooting and attending a lot of desert and short course races, I'm assuming, right?
Yep, you'll still see me out at all of the Best in the Desert races, the Lucas Oil Series. Want to try and get into some more torque stuff. Unfortunately, it's hard for me to get back there because it's all on the East Coast, Midwest mostly. And back to Crandon. I'd love to get back to Crandon. So, so Best in the Desert. And their Henderson 250 race coming up to wrap up the year. I'm looking forward to that race.
Yep, and I know you were out at the Red Bull GRC race in Vegas, first time being in a rallycross race, right? How'd you like that?
It was my first time. You know what? The view of where they're putting these races lately is pretty amazing. First off, I love my city. I'm from Las Vegas. So the backdrop for the race was awesome. And then you add in the sound of the cars, and those guys go all out when they go into turns. You saw them, they're not afraid to rub off of each other to get to that spot. So it was good to see some racing on the pavement, to the dirt, and then cars. It was a little bit different for me, actually.
Yeah, definitely a shakeup. So Nitro Circus, deadline for votes is today. If people won't, not if people want to vote. I'm telling you, listeners, go and vote. But when they go and vote, what's the easiest way for them to find it? Obviously, I'll get it up on my Facebook page, your Facebook, social media. And what's the website if they just want to go direct there?
The website is dreamjobbing.com, and jobbing is with 2 B's. And then you click on Nitro Circus. You do have to sign in, but it's quick and easy if you use your Facebook login, like it gives you the option. It won't post to your page because I know a lot of people are scared of it doing that. And then you go, click on my video, and you can vote. And then spread the word, tell your friends.
Yep. Awesome. Well, we will definitely keep promoting that and trying to get you some votes. I know you said you got to be in the top 50, right? And you're kind of right there teetering on the edge?
Yep, I've been keeping track of it since I entered the video and made it into the top 50. So what they'll do is when this round of voting ends tonight, they'll take their top 50 and keep their videos up. And I'm not sure if the votes start fresh from there, but then you'll go into another round of voting and they'll take the top 20. And from there, they'll pick who they want to be their tour reporter. Yeah,
well, here's hoping, because I know, you and I'm sure a lot of others got a little bit of late start. You would think if you get enough votes to make it into the top 50 and you've only been doing it a week or a couple of days, some of these people have been at it a few weeks, you would think they'd restart everything for round 2 and let you guys all start, from even playing field.
I'm hoping so, because there's some people who have had their video up for a good month, and I've had mine up for probably about 30 hours now, and I cracked into that top 50. So I'm excited. Thank you guys, everybody who's voted so far. I appreciate it, and if I get this opportunity to go, I definitely won't disappoint when I call into the Down and Dirty show and give you guys a little behind the scenes.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call in, Jen, and we will definitely, get these people voting, and here's hoping you get to go to New Zealand with Nitro Circus.
Awesome. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it so much.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jen. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
All right. That was Jenn Hellstrom, off-road journalist, photographer. I say off-road. I guess I ought to say, more action sports, action motorsports. Jen, obviously, she's worked with Red Bull in different capacities. She was at Air Race working with them. She does some off-road stuff. She's out of GRC. Maybe Chris Leone, calling Chris Leone. Maybe we should get Jenn Hellstrom some media credentials next year, calling Chris Leone. I know Chris is listening in. That's why I'm saying that. But just a great personality and one of those people. With the Down and Dirty radio show, and I founded this show, a couple of years ago. It's, we can have the Rob MacCachrens and the Ken Blocks, and and the Tanner Faust, and I love interviewing these guys who are my friends and some of the best in motorsports. But we're also about the personalities that might be, not celebrity status like those guys. The Jenn Hellstroms of the world who are out at all these events and, boots on the ground and making things happen behind the scenes. And Chris Leone and Courtney McRae, who are both reporters for me, and some of these regional rally racers and some of the smaller off-road classes that the UTV racers that maybe don't get as much love as the BJ Baldwins and the Bucky Lassiks of the world. So I love getting people like Jen on who she knows as much about off-road as anyone, but maybe doesn't get the opportunity to talk about it in in a public forum much. So thanks to Jenn for calling in. And once again, dreamjobbing.com. Jenn Hellstrom, it's right there. Her video is great video. It's about a minute long. You can log in with your Facebook account, so you don't have to set up an account to vote. Click the vote button, and she's got to be in the top 50. I know she's like 48th, 49th right now. She's only been live with votes for like 24 hours. Some of these guys have been on there for weeks. So she's already slingshotted into the top 50 where she needs to be to go into round 2, and she's been doing it far less than everybody else. So we're going to keep promoting it. It's been up on my Facebook page. It's on hers. Give her a follow, Jenn Hellstrom. It's at Jenn Hell on Instagram and Twitter, and Jenn Hell Media Group is her company. And heck, if you need somebody to write some press releases, take some photos out at the off-road races, give her a shout. She's definitely good at her job. So here's hoping that Jenn can get that gig with Nitro Circus. We'll do our best to help her out. Thanks to her for calling in. We've had Rob MacCachren on air so far. Man, we are rocking and rolling here, and we're already into hour number 2. We haven't taken that second commercial break that we needed to, so we're going to get rolling into that. And when we come back, I got to tell you, we still got a loaded show. When we come back, Mitchell DeJong, we got an interview with him that I was able to record last week after he was crowned champion. Also, we're getting into full Baja 1000 results. Got a DirtFish Rally report on tap. We're going to talk some Gymkhana 7, Endurocross, Stadium Super Trucks, SEMA. We've got schedules dropping from WRX, from Formula Drift. I got to tell you, man, this is going to be one packed hour, so hang tight. We got a whole lot more coming at you here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, lit up by Rigid Industries and schooled by DirtFish Rally School.
DirtFish Rally School is the premier rally driving school on the West Coast, located in Snoqualmie, Washington. If you're looking for a ton of fun with world-class driving instructors hone your skills, DirtFish is the place for you. DirtFish has 315 acres of playground with mixed surfaces for your driving experience. You can spend anywhere from 2 hours to 3 intense days of instruction refining your driving and racing skills. Whether you are looking for credits towards your Rally America license, hone your racing skills, or just having a fun time, DirtFish is your school. Your classroom is behind wheel of a 300 horsepower rally-prepped Subaru STI. These cars have protective cages, suspension modifications, and are built for one purpose: to push you to your limit. By the end of your time at DirtFish, you will have the confidence to rally with the best. Whether you're looking for a thrilling first-time rally experience or to increase your knowledge and time in the driver's seat, DirtFish has a driving experience to suit your needs. For any information on their classes, corporate events, or their facility, check them out on the web at www.dirtfish.com or on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at DirtFish Rally.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort Casino. Check out the two-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for. No fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners and for trick riders. Double sidekicker in the 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies, adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Companies can call themselves an industry leader. Racetech Seats is one of the few. It doesn't matter if you race off-road, rally, touring cars, sprint cars, drag racing, or boats. Chances are, Racetech Seats have a seat that will keep you safe, secure, and comfortable, allowing you to concentrate on winning. Racetech Seats meet and exceed the FIA crash test standard, are HONS-compatible, flame-resistant, and offer full payment, meaning you can race knowing you are protected by the best. More information can be found at www.racetech-usa.com. That's www.racetech-usa.com. Racetech Seats. Our passion is to keep you safe.
Did you know the Park Motor Company is one of the best places to shop new tires for your car or truck? With a full tire shop and advanced equipment, we can outfit your vehicle with over 13 brands of tires, including Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Yokohama, Falcon, and General. We offer a low price guarantee that will meet or beat any competitor's price. We'll check your alignment for free, and we also offer tire care for any road hazards you may come across. If you need new tires, Park Motor Company is your only choice. Park Motor Company, your hometown Ford and Lincoln dealer. Industries is the original #1 LED light bar manufacturer in the world. Torture tested by some of the best drivers in motorsports. Rigid LED lighting products use cutting-edge technology and can stand up to the harshest conditions Mother Nature can dish out. Designed, engineered, and assembled in the United States, Rigid LED lighting is the only choice for your off-road vehicle or boat. Find out more information on the entire line of Rigid Industries LED lighting products at www.rigidindustries.com.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, lit up by Rigid Industries and schooled by DirtFish Rally School. I'm your host, Jim Beaver, and we've had Jenn Hellstrom on air with the Jenn Hell Media Group, talking a little Nitro Circus and that contest that she's in. That's right. Go to dreamjobbing.com, click on the Nitro Circus. It's right on the front page, and go and vote for Jenn Hellstrom. Let's get one of Off-Road's own a job as the tour reporter. Also, we've had Rob MacCachren, your 2014 Baja 1000 champ, calling into the radio show, talking with him, and always good to catch up with Mr. Rob MacCachren. And, man, it's been a good time. And right now, looks like we're going to skip over to an interview with your 2014 GRC Lights champ, Mitchell DeJong, that I had, I was fortunate enough to catch up with him last week. I know a lot of you expecting him last week on air, and I got to tell you, we're moved to a new platform this go around. As you noticed, some of you may have went to the old place where we were kind of producing the show. That went out. Sorry if there's a few hiccups today. We moved to a new platform. Super stoked to be here. Literally last week, in the middle of the show, they cut me off. Just absolute cut off. You're done. And literally, we're in the middle of a show right as we, getting ready to get to Mitchell, and just cut me off. They knew we were moving, and I guess they didn't like it. So here we are. But stoked to be here, and it's I can tell you it's more goodness. We got some big news. We're going to be breaking on the Down and Dirty Radio Show here in the next couple of weeks. So between now and the first of the year, I'm telling you, hang tight, because literally we've got some mind-blowing announcements we're going to get to. But obviously, I just want to thank all you listeners. You are the ones that allow me to do this week in and week out and make things happen here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. I know we've had some good things happen with the show. We've had some things like last week that are some big hiccups, but got some amazing partners that have been through us through the thick and thin. DirtFish Rally School, Rigid, UPR.com, Blue Water Casino, Race Tech, Intense Tees, Parker Motors, Arizona Ford Dealers. I mean, the list is endless, but thank you guys for making things happen. But right now we're going to get to this interview with Mitchell DeJong. When we come back, we're going to talk some Baja 1000, DirtFish Rally Report, Gymkhana 7, Endurocross, and a whole lot more. So here is Mitchell DeJong. All right, we're here with Mitchell DeJong, 2014 Red Bull GRC Lights champion. How's everything going, Mitchell?
Great, and you?
Everything is good on my end. I think it's even better for you with you obviously locking up the 2014 Lights Championship going into the final round, but to really put a stamp on the 2014 season there in Vegas.
Absolutely, 2014 has been an amazing year. To be able to win all these races and win the championship, I really wasn't expecting that, to be honest. To kind of have it with such a great year, and this is one of my favorite far. It was so much fun this year, and it was just an awesome experience.
Yeah, it's to me, I know 2014 to 2015. I mean, you were very fast last year, but 2015, I mean, you came in, and it was like you were shot out of a cannon this year, and you wanted it from day one. I mean, 2014 to 2015. Tell us a little bit about this off season and what actually took place and what happened, on your end, because you were fast last year, but this year you were even faster.
Yeah, it was kind of tough in the off-season. I didn't really get any testing from the last race at SEMA of last year to the first round with England. That I didn't have any real race driving in that in between. It was about 6 months. Made it very tough, and we kind of decided to use England as a test thing, and fortunately, it kind of went better than expected, but really in the off-season, my only testing was kind of Phillies down video games and just watching videos and trying to really be efficient with the limited amount of driving that I had, but figuring out what I could do better and things like that.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about England, because I know that was something kind of out of left field. I mean, you weren't really, I think it was a last-minute deal, and you ended up flying to England, not knowing what to expect, and then ended up taking a victory over there. That had been pretty cool, because you were able to kind of prove yourself against some of the European drivers and really see how good you are.
Absolutely, yeah. It was very last minute, and we kind of decided to use it as a testing thing to prepare for games. And after going over there, it was just kind of a great experience. I left it up to have the attitude of whatever happens thing, and it was. I think that was one big thing that helped a lot. Not worrying about it too much, just going and having fun, and just focusing on driving, and it went really well. From the practice and whatnot, it was kind of going really well, and it was just a great experience. Being over there with that team, it was very cool. They had everything handled and taken care of, which is nice, and to be there, and my first time out of the U.S. was another awesome experience, and everyone was so nice and so cool there. So it was one of my favorite experiences for sure.
Yeah, it had to have been really cool. I mean, and this year down the stretch, I mean, you and Kevin Erickson had a heck of a battle going on, and I know there were a couple of races. It was back and forth, but it had to been pretty exciting for you to have that competition. Then going into the final round, I mean, you've got Andreas Backrud who comes in, and I know talking with him in the paddock area, he really wanted to race against you in particular. So it kind of had been a good feeling there in Vegas to really put the stamp on the season and know you did it.
Absolutely. Just being able to race against Andreas Backrud on the track. He's one of the best in Europe Supercross, and I have a ton of respect for him. He's a fantastic driver and super nice and friendly. To be able to race on the same track as him is an amazing honor. And, it was a great race in SEMA. It was from the beginning, just having the pressure off my back for the championship, just focusing on trying to go win the race. And, it was kind of from the beginning, it was really nice and calm. And every session was able to put down good times, and we were thinking about setup and things like that, not worrying too much, and it made it even better, great atmosphere and things like that. And up until the final, everything was going smoothly until I think I fell asleep on the start a bit, but it made for, I think, an even better finish at the end of it, and the end of the season.
Yeah. Well, and moving forward, I mean, talking about 2015, I mean, I think you in particular are one of the big storylines in in the off season. I know silly season for Rallycross is already getting started, but I know 2015. I mean, where are we going to see Mitchell DeJong?
Yeah, 2015. There's a lot of things going around, but we're pushing hard to supercar. So we just have to look at our opportunities and what is going to be possible. And I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to move on to my class. And I'm like I said, I'm super excited, and I can't wait to get into it. We'll have to see the opportunities and things like that. The great thing about Red Bull Global Rallycross now is it's a very solid platform, and as you can see, the show is great, and everything is in order and things like that. I think it's great for spectators and things like that, and people, and it's really making it a lot better for us with sponsors and things like that. I'm trying to get into it, and I'm excited to see what 2015 brings.
Yeah, I think it should be should be an exciting year for you and stoked to see where things go. And let's talk a little bit real quick about Red Bull, because I know obviously you've got some torque championships. Moving into into Rallycross. Now you've got a lights championship. I know Red Bull has backed you for a long time. I mean, how has that relationship been? And then moving into Rallycross, I mean, now they're a title sponsor of Red Bull GRC. They're a sponsor of you. That's going to be, kind of the perfect storm for you.
Absolutely. Being at Red Bull has been amazing. They're such a great company, and they do so much for their athletes and things like that. And to be in the series that they help sponsor and keep going, it's awesome. My relationship with them has been great, and I look forward to continued years with them, and I'm excited to see what the future brings. But they've really made the series great this year, and I look forward to see how it continues growing.
Well, and looking at your career, obviously, 2015, I think everybody's expecting to see you in a supercar, and I know, quite a few doors are opening for you there, and but beyond that, I mean, say 5-10 years out, I mean, do you still see yourself, you want to make a career out of being a rallycross racer, or do you, 10 years from now, I mean, would you like to be, say, in NASCAR, IndyCar, or something like that?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Definitely I want to continue doing Rallycross. It's so much fun to me. And we'll have to see what opportunities are in the future. I'd love to get back into road racing. I'm a big fan of open wheel and endurance racing, so maybe there's an opportunity there. But, right now, for a short-term plan, I'd love to just continue doing Rallycross, and we'll see what else comes up at those times.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a lot on your plate. As far as this off season goes, I mean, what does Mitchell DeJong do to prepare for next year? I mean, do you spend some time in the gym, simulators? I mean, do you go up to some of the rally schools? I mean, what's your off season look like?
I think for the off season, we're going to be. I'll just be doing a lot of training in the gym, and like you said, simulator work and things like that. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some testing in the supercar before. It would be very helpful, and we'll have to see and get things figured out before then. But as of right now, that's all the plan.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about your simulator, because I know talking with your dad, I know he's built you quite a one-off awesome piece of machinery, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool. It has full 3D screens and things like that, so you have peripheral vision and whatnot. I built the computer and things like that, so set up for gaming and whatnot. But it's as much fun as it is. It helps a lot, and I spend a lot of time on it.
Yeah. Well, and talking about talking about your family, I know obviously your dad and your mom. Anybody who knows they're really involved in your racing career, and you've got a great support system there. And I think it's pretty cool. I mean, how have they been with your career and helping you advance? I mean, I know your dad. I mean, he's got off-road desert racing experience. I mean, he's driven in Class 1. How has that been, and having them there at all of the races with you and helping you out?
Yeah, it's great to have my family working with me and racing. It's very much a team effort. Everything we do kind of revolves around racing, even when we're not home, and even when we are home. And going to the races, it makes it so much smoother when you have people that you're familiar with, and to always take care of things. And we always work together as a team and get along so well. My parents do so much for me and my racing. I'm truly blessed to have them, and it makes it much better the races, and a much better atmosphere to have them around and people you're familiar with, and where you're not worried if the car's working or if this is taken care of and whatnot. It's just great.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to 2015. Once again, congrats on not only the win in Las Vegas, but the 2014 Lights Championship. It's got to be pretty exciting for you. Before we let you go, anybody you'd like to thank or give a shout out to, and where can people find out more information on you and keep track of you this off season?
My Facebook is Mitchell DeJong, and my Instagram and Twitter is at Mitchell DeJong1. Big thank you to all my sponsors, Red Bull, Farco, Replay TV, everyone that helps me out. It's great to have so many great people surrounding me, and all my mechanics, Brad and my dad and my mom and everyone that continues to help me out on a daily basis. It's just awesome, and be able to have such a great year. It's just an amazing feeling. That's all.
Yeah. Well, thanks for taking the time to come on air, and good luck in 2015. We're definitely going to be keeping tabs on you. We'll have to get you on air once we find out your plans.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, Mitchell. All right. That was Mitchell DeJong, your 2014 Red Bull GRC Lights champ. Now, obviously, I told you guys we entered the show. We switched to a new service. I guess there was a lot of echoing with that interview, so I've got the raw file. So what I'm going to do, those of you that it seems like I guess anything recorded today on air is kind of echoing, something like that. So I know the production guys I was texting with them. They're already working on it to see what went on. Obviously, this is our first day with a new service. Apologize to Mitchell, but we will get that interview in its raw form up on the website as soon as we are off air today, and you'll be able to hit that and not have any of the echo problems. Don't know what happened or what's going on. I guess some of the commercial spots doing the same thing. So the guys are definitely working on that. And hopefully we have it alleviated by my next show. But, we'll definitely get that up on the website. So if you guys want to check that out, and apologies to Mitchell, but congrats on the 2014 championship. It is a great interview with Mitchell. So I guess if you were having echoing problems with it, you can jump back and and catch that on the website here later today. Leads us in, though, we've still got a ton to cover in this edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. And I got to tell you, Baja 1000, we talked a lot about it to kick things off. We're going to talk a little bit more about it because we haven't run down the complete results yet today. But, things went off in 1,275 miles, almost 1,300 miles of Baja, 237 starters, 133 finishers, 56% finished. And I got to tell you, that's impressive to me. As grueling as this course was, totally impressive. Rob MacCachren, he took home the win. Luke McMillan, second, and it was the team of Rob Mack, Andy Mack, and Andy Mick, I should say, and Jason Voss taking home that win, as you know. But Luke McMillan, solid showing, teaming up with his brother Dan to take home second place in trophy trucks. So shedding that fourth place stigma they've got there. But I guess that's on Dan. Luke doesn't have that. So those of you that are involved in the off-road chat boards and stuff, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But maybe putting Luke as driver of record is what needs to happen to shed that second or that fourth place stigma. Also, Cameron Steele teaming up with Pat Dean out of Vegas, and Cody Stewart taking home third in trophy trucks. Solid run for Cameron Steele. Troy Herbst, Ryan Arciero, they finished up in fourth. Mark McMillan, Chuck Hovey doing it, the veterans doing it to a fifth place finish. Had Stephen Eugenio and Gus Vildosola and Adam Fufanik finishing up in sixth. Also TJ Flores thrown in there. Seventh place went to Clyde Stacy and Juan Carlos Lopez. Eighth, Zach Lanley and Rick D. Johnson, the Cops. Gary Magnus finishing up in ninth. David Kleeman and Brian Wilson in 10th, and Robbie Gordon, he finished up in 11th. 11th. 12th went to Andrew Hendricks. 12th, Jay Reichert and Charles Dorrance, Heidi Steele, Jessica McMillan, Scott McMillan, Steve Strobel, all finishing up in 14th. Ken Loesch, 15th. 16th went to Mike Cook, 17th, Harry Hepler. So that's your trophy truck finishers. Now getting into Class 1, Justin Davis taking home that victory. Congrats goes out to him. And Justin Matney, he finished up in second place. So the Truggies out front in this one. Looked like they had a great race going on there. Damon Jeffries in third, Cody Parkhouse, Randy Wilson. They round out your top five, skipping down to 1-2-1600. David Ravacalba taking home the win. Hiram Duran and Eric Duran and Evan Duran taking home that second place. We had Wes McKenzie in third, Christian Celia in fourth, Kevin Smith in fifth. Class 3, your winner, once again, the winningest Bronco in history, Donald Moss. Finishing up in fifth, in Class 5 in first place was Kevin Carr, 5/1600. Enrique Zueta, and Enrique Zueta Sr. and Sogi Zueta from La Paz taking home the win in 5/1600. I got to tell you, 37 hours. That is a long day out in the desert. So props to them for taking home that victory and enduring. Pete Soren taking home the win in Class 7. 7SX went to James Berman. 8 was Mike Meeks. Class 10, man, this was a great battle in the Class 10 ranks. Mike Johnson taking home the win. Cash Vessels finishing up in second. Lee Banning third. Arnoldo Gutierrez, senior and junior, taking home the fourth place finish. Cody Reed in fifth. Skipping down to Class 12, Luis Martinez taking home that win. No finishers in Class 11. Pro Truck, Chelsea Magnus, once again with a win there. Trophy Truck Spec, Larry Connor with the win. Stock Full, Andy Bell, Jamie Beswick in that Toyota, taking home the win in the Toyota. So congrats goes out to them, and actually looks like they had a pretty good battle going on there with second place Mark Van Tassel. Class 3000, Reed Rutherford with a win. Class 19, the UTVs. In the Razor, John Engel out of Mesa taking home that win. Matt Parks finishing up in second. Baja Challenge, John Largent, Tom Mullen taking home the win there. Pro Motorcycles, man, it was a great battle in Pro Motorcycle. And at the end, though, it was Ricky Brabeck, Robbie Bell, Steve Hingeveld, Max Eddy bringing it home on the Kawasaki. 52.36 miles an hour, 24 hours, 24 minutes. was the finishing time. So, man, the days of the bikes dominating the Baja 1000 seem to be days gone by. Some of the best riders in the world there, and still finishing an hour or so down to the trophy trucks. Bo Huckins won limited motorcycle. Francisco Arellano, Class 30 over, took home that win. Class 40, Mike Prunty. Class 50, Akira Miyoki out of Japan. Class 60, Bill Nichols. Ironman for the solo riders. Mad props to all these guys. 3 finishers in this one. Francisco Septien out of Ensenada. Jeffrey Gerbant from Canada. And Christopher Parr from Colorado. All 3, as far as I'm concerned, they're all 3 winners. Ironman finishing it up. That is just a crazy, crazy accomplishment. Pro ATVs, Javier Robles taking home that win. Derek Fletcher in Sportsman Buggy, Sportsman Truck. Ben Phillips and Sportsman UTV, Mike Caruffel. Sportsman Motorcycle, Olaf Satre. And Edwin Sanchez in Sportsman ATV. So that is your Baja champions. Baja 1000, another epic one in the books. These guys, I don't know what to say. Just absolutely insane. Insane how fast MacCachren, McMillan, and Jason Voss were. You've got the Ironman doing it up. I don't care if you're in a car, motorcycle, ATV. Just insane to ride almost 1,300 miles in the desert solo by yourself. Lots and lots of good stuff there. So that is your Baja 1000 results. It was another great epic one for the books, and looking forward to next year already. With the Baja 1000 in the books, it looks like we're going to get into a little DirtFish Rally report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at DirtFish Rally School. And, DirtFish Rally School, I got to tell you right now, breaking some, big news coming out of DirtFish Rally School. I'm getting tongue-tied today, man. I don't know what's going on here. But, big news coming out of DirtFish Rally School is that rear-wheel drive classes have started. That's right, the 15th. First rear-wheel drive classes kicked off on Saturday at DirtFish Rally School. So I'm looking forward to seeing how those go. We're going to have to touch base with our good friends up there and see how those went, the first session of the rear-wheel drive classes. But I got to tell you, if you're an off-roader, if you're a short course guy, you want to have some fun in a rear-wheel drive car, if you're a drifter, anything with rear-wheel drive, you definitely want to make your way to DirtFish. As far as I know, the only rally school, I don't even want to say in the United States, but in the world, offering a rear-wheel drive platform. So DirtFish Rally School, once again, hitting a home run with their rear-wheel drive classes, and you definitely want to go and find out more information at www.dirtfish.com. So, right now, the big news is WRC, World Rally Championship, wrapping up their season at the Rally GB, Rally Great Britain, Rally England. It is always an epic one, though, and really one of the oldest and most notable rallies on the WRC calendar. It's taken many different forms and iterations over the years, but I got to tell you, it always makes for some great racing. It's kind of the pinnacle of the season, and it's a great way to wrap up the WRC calendar each and every year. We already had a WRC champion lined up, and it was kind of phoning it in for Sebastian Ogier, but we still had still had some racing to go. So looks like once again, your overall victor, as he's done a lot this year, Sebastian Ogier, taking home the win in the Volkswagen. We had Mikko Hirvonen in second, Osberg third, Neuville fourth, Evans in fifth, Meek, Tanak, Latvala, Prokop, and Padden rounding out your top 10. And, so that puts our championship standings, as you knew, we already had the thing locked up, wrapped up prior to Rally GB, but Sebastian is your 2014 WRC champ. Jari Matti Latvala wrapping up that second place spot. Andreas Mikkelsen, solid showing in third. Mikko Hirvonen in fourth. Mads Osberg in fifth. We had Neuville, Meek, Evans, Prokop, Sordo. They round out your top 10 in the WRC Points Championship, the FIA driver standings. So big congrats goes out to Sebastian on his championship, on his domination this year. I'm just looking down the list. Let's see how many wins he had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins. Just a domination on his part. Volkswagen, just absolutely a dominating effort by them. It's definitely going into next year. He's the new. We had Sebastian Loeb. Now we've got Sebastian Ogier. Makes you wonder. I mean, what's the deal with the Sebastians? Is somebody going to step in and knock him off? I don't know. It's definitely a lot of storylines going into next year, though, and obviously I know a lot of drivers that have been out of the picture want to get back in. So we'll see what happens. I think there's definitely going to be a great silly season for WRC heading into the Monte Carlo kickoff. See what happens, who lands in what driver seats. You can mark your words, though, that Down and Dirty Radio Show will be on top of things, and we will let you know where these guys end up. But right now, also in this DirtFish Rally Report, we've got a little WRX breaking news from the World Rallycross Championship. Obviously, they are finishing up their series. Man, sorry about that. Never cough on air, and did it there and caught myself. Wow. Man, talk about a weird day, right? I'm just having all kinds of problems here. But, Argentina wrapping up the WRX calendar November 28th and 29th. But WRX has already announced their 2015 calendar. They revealed it, and it's a provisional calendar with 12 events, a new round in Barcelona, Spain. And that round replaces Finland, which I thought was absolutely nuts. Finland, I mean, they're a rally country. I'm gonna take one from Townsend Bell's book, and he says, if you want to win, you hire a Finn. And Finland, I mean, literally, rally is the national sport in Finland. These kids grow up, and in America, you want to be what? An NBA star, a baseball player, a football player. In Finland, you want to be a rally driver. Just the Finns are dominant, whether it be in rallycross, stage rally, whatever. So to take a great WRX event from Finland and replace it with Barcelona, I mean, Barcelona is a great venue, but I don't know. I kind of question if there had to been something monetarily happen for that to go down. But anyways, getting on with this calendar, round one kicking things off in Portugal, then they go to Belgium. Lydden Hill, Great Britain, that is round 3 into May. Then you go on to Germany, Sweden, Canada, back on the calendar for their North American round. Norway, France, Spain, that round in Barcelona there in September 18th through the 20th. We got Turkey back on the calendar. That was one I didn't know if it would make it or not with some of the problems we've had in the Middle East. I know a lot of the American teams, Tanner and Ken, not competing in the Istanbul round in Turkey. So it's kind of interesting to see that back on the calendar, but went off without a hitch and made for some great racing. Italy round 11, and then wrapping things up just like they are this year in Argentina with that lone South American round. So it's shaping up to be a great 2015 in WRX. Same thing, silly season. We'll see where some of these drivers land and where they find their new homes at. It's definitely been a great year of racing for WRX. Looking forward to 2015. And that's about all we have. But also want to make note in this DirtFish Rally report, those of you that are Xbox players, maybe you have Forza 5, that David Higgins DirtFish Rally skin is available there is available for download. So if you're a Forza 5 Xbox player, go and download that DirtFish Rally David Higgins Subaru skin in the bright orange Subaru. Really solid. I mean, that's got to be one of my favorite paint schemes over the past couple of years. You know, off-road rally, anything. It's just a cool paint scheme that DirtFish designed for him for that Subaru for the GRC round at DirtFish. So you can download it. In the Xbox One marketplace for Forza, it's the DirtFish Rally skin, so grab that. And once again, rear-wheel drive classes have started up there at DirtFish Rally School. You can now book them. They actually underway as we speak, kicking things off November 15th. So, you definitely want to go and check that out. So that was your DirtFish Rally report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at DirtFish Rally School. Find out more information on the web, www.dirtfish.com. So, it's talk about a lot of rally news, and we're kind of winding things down. One major event left on the schedule, that is WRX in Argentina. So you rally fans, good thing with rally is there's not much of an off season. In January we're kicking things off with Monte Carlo, so you don't have to sit on your hands for very long. But speaking of rally, Ken Block, the head hoonigan, dropping Gymkhana 7 this morning. And, man, it's I'm speechless. I actually texted with Ken Block earlier today and said, dude, what am I supposed to say about this on air? Like, I don't even know where to start. I guess we start with a car. The traditional, Fiesta, his GRC, his stage rally car, the car you're used to seeing in all these Gymkhana videos, it's out. He custom designed, teamed up with Von Gittin Jr., and he teamed up with him, and they built a custom car, built a custom Mustang for Gymkhana 7. So starting things out, it was totally different than anything you've expected. I don't know even how to explain this car. Like I said, I'm speechless talking about everything about this. I know, and even talking with Ken, on air in the past, he said, the problem we have with Gymkhana is it's so successful. It's so successful, he says, we have to continue to one-up ourselves. And he says, how do you do that? They've gone to Universal Studios. They've taken over San Francisco. They kind of went back to the basics with the one with the wrecking ball and all that. The ultimate Gymkhana grid course, I think it was called. But it's kind of how do you make this bigger than it is? Because they took over San Francisco. So first with this one, I think it was going back to the drawing board. And they went back to the drawing board. And, first was, let's start with a new car. So they take a 65 Mustang. Yeah, not a modern-day Mustang, a 65 Mustang. And I saw this car at SEMA, and I got to tell you, it's nuts. It's insane. It's like this Mad Max demon-looking car. You don't even know what to say about it, but it's a car that you see, and it just absolutely stops you in your tracks. Ford literally had a line of people in their booth just to see this car and take a picture of it. 65 Mustang, it's widened out. It's the only all-wheel drive Mustang, I think, in existence. They put a custom sequential gearbox in it. So he's got a sequential gearbox just like his GRC car. Basically, you got a GRC transmission with the all-wheel drive. So it's an all-wheel drive Mustang. Sequential gearbox. He took a Roush Yates engine that makes almost 900 horsepower, put that in there, bolted it to the sequential gearbox. I mean, he's got handbrake setups, everything else, lowered it down. I mean, his car is just absolutely insane. It's evil, sinister looking, and, it's one of a kind, but it's Ken Block, so, he's going to go all out. So then what do you do when you've taken over San Francisco? taking over Universal Studios. Reese Millen obviously did Washington, D.C., so you can't do that. As far as I'm concerned, you got a few cities left. You got maybe Miami, New York City, and Los Angeles. So what's Ken do? He takes over Los Angeles. Yeah, the place where there's the bumper-to-bumper traffic, and you can never, ever go faster than about 15 miles an hour on the interstate. Somehow, Ken Block shuts the entire city of Los Angeles down. I don't know how he does it, but he did it. So, he shuts down Los Angeles and takes this wicked Mad Max-looking car through Los Angeles. And it's super cool. I mean, he hit up some of these prime spots, iconic spots in L.A., obviously, the L.A. River, he does some scenes down there. I can't even remember the name of the donut shop. There's this iconic donut shop, and he's doing donuts around the donut shop. He also passed a white Bronco on the interstate with a bunch of cars behind it. The OJ chase. They simulated the OJ chase and kind of made a nod to OJ Simpson. I thought it was hilarious. Hopefully some of you that were around, that are listeners that were around back then, understand the semblance. Some of our listeners probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Others think it's as hilarious as I do. But, just an out-of-the-box video, super long, 12, 13 minutes. I mean, by viral video, links, I mean, that's way long. But the whole video was epic. I mean, no filler to it at all. They didn't have to stretch. They made it work. He ends the thing on top of the Hollywood, up there by the Hollywood sign on top of the mountain. So just an epic video. Definitely worth the watch. I'll get that thrown up on my social media as soon as we get off air. But if you haven't seen it yet, you definitely want to check it out. Gymkhana 7. And this car, if you haven't seen the car in person, if you ever get the chance at one of these shows, you definitely want to go see it. I'm anxious to see what else Ken is going to do with this car, because this is a car that needs driven. It's not a museum piece. It's a one of a kind, but this car needs to be driven, and knowing Ken, he's gonna do it. So Gymkhana 7. It dropped this morning. Hopefully you've already seen it. If you haven't, you definitely need to make it happen. So it's big day for a lot of things. Baja 1000, Gymkhana 7. Definitely go and vote for Jenn Hellstrom. But this weekend we also had Endurocross in action. We got a heated battle happening in Endurocross, the AMA Endurocross Championship. We had a three-way battle between Beluziak, Haker, Taylor Robert. But in this one, it was all Cody Webb. He took the win once again, doing what he had to do. He's got a solid points lead in this championship. I mean, it was a deadlock going into this one. Cody Webb taking that win. Basically gave him stretched out his lead over second in the points. But right now it's Cody Webb taking the victory, Taylor Robert in second, Haker and Beluziak third and fourth. So Webb, with Taylor finishing in second, gave him a little buffer between Haker and Beluziak, who were in that heated battle with him. Corey Graffunder finishing up in fifth, Max Gersten sixth, Jeff Aaron, Mike Brown, Kyle Redmond, Tristan Hart rounding out your top 10. Then in the women's Endurocross, just as exciting as the men, we had a big win by Lexi Pashut, Sandra Gomez in second, Shelby Turner, Casey Martinez, and Melissa Harton rounding out your top 5. Other notables, we had Chantel Bykirk in seventh, Tara Geiger in eighth. The ladies throwing it down as well. And I got to tell you, it's it's going down to the wire here. We've got Ontario, not Canada, but Ontario, California coming up here in just a couple of weeks, and this championship really getting heated. Obviously, Cody Webb in the driver's seat, but these guys, one bobble and it could be all Beluziak or Haker, both of them taking victories and having a solid year. So. Still to be determined. It's all going to go down in in Southern California, Ontario, California, here in just a couple of weeks. So you Endurocross fans definitely want to stay tuned for that. I want to hit real quick. We didn't get to last week, but I want to hit real quick on SEMA show. Obviously, I was out at SEMA for quite a few days. I got to call the Red Bull GRC race for 2 days. Had some meetings. Obviously, got to check out this SEMA show on Thursday and a little bit on Wednesday morning in between my announce duties. Had a couple of autograph signings on Thursday, but it was definitely a solid. Definitely a solid SEMA show, man. And, seeing Score out front, basically taking over the front of SEMA. BJ Baldwin's truck was there front and center with Recoil 2 playing. Off-road definitely had a great showing, as did Rally. I got the opportunity, first time ever, to ride in a drift car with the Ryan Turk. Funny how that happened. It wasn't even planned. I walk up to see Abby Gittin and Vaughn Gittin because they had their trailer there. Jared Deanna was on the mic, and, a lot of my drift friends are over there, and Nate Hamilton's there, and Big Hurt from the Hoonigans, and then Turk and Vaughn were giving ride-alongs out there to like some Ford corporate people and and special guests and stuff like that. So I walk up there just to say hey to Vaughn and Abby and Turk. And, Abby goes, hey, she says, you want to ride in the drift car? I go, well, yeah. And she goes, well, here's the helmet. You go out there and jump in with Turk. She's like, we need an extra person. So randomly, I'm thrown in a drift car. Never been in one before in my life. And I've got to tell you, I've always had a lot of respect for these guys. Respect even more now, being able to ride in one of those cars. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've thrown cars around. I can do reverse 180s, donuts, handbrake turns. But the precision that these guys have and being able to ride in that car with Ryan Turk, they had the box there that they do donuts in and pure commitment to go into that box sideways like he did. I mean, I could have done it, but the hydro barriers would have been blown all over the place, and there's no way it would have happened. But respect earned for what these guys are able to do, and how precise they are with their driving and being able to basically put the car where they want. Pretty amazing. Also, Rigid Industries dropping some new products. The big one I post up on my social media. I'm sure a lot of you guys caught it, but Rigid dropping that GoPro LED light bar. It's like a smaller LED light bar. I can't remember, like a 12-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch. Maybe it was a 20. I can't remember. I apologize. But right in the middle, they've got actually a mount for a GoPro, and it's actually a case. So you take your GoPro, just slide it in the light bar, it clips over, and you've got this case built into the LED light bar. So, I can put that basically on the front of my trophy truck, slide a GoPro in there, slap it shut. I don't have to worry about a mount up there for my GoPro. GoPro's protected. I mean, Rigid bars, trust me, I've put mine through hell and the thing's walked away from it. So your GoPro's protected, but I think it got voted one of the best new products of the show by Rigid. So definitely check that out. Rigid also dropping a new light bar that's half white and half amber. So, those of you guys that have wanted amber covers, I want white cover, they've got a light bar now that has both. Amber on the bottom, white light on the top. I think that's pretty awesome, too. So I'm looking at how I'm going to integrate both of these into the trophy truck for 2015. But, Rigid dropping a bunch of new products, rigidindustries.com. You definitely want to check those out. And also, got to give a big shout-out to our loyal Down and Dirty radio show listener, darn near from day one, Gwen Everidge, goes by Ghost Rider on social media. She got voted, or she got an award from Torque as the Torque Fan of the Year. So mucho props to Gwen, for that. I mean, that's solid, man. And props to Torque for making that announcement and giving her something, because she runs her fan page, Gore, she keeps all short course desert racing. I mean, if you're on Facebook and you want updates, I mean, dang, she's better in the series a lot of times at her live updates during events, and that's growing, and she's always tweeting. But solid on Torque for giving Gwen something and recognizing her as the Torque Fan of the Year for 2014. So super stoked on that. Also, On Any Sunday, the new On Any Sunday, it is out in theaters. So go and check that out and give it a watch. I haven't had the opportunity to see it yet, but I definitely, definitely can't wait to see it. From everything I've heard, it's just absolutely unbelievable. So you definitely want to check that out. Also, 2015 Formula Drift schedule has been announced. We're talking the World Championship, $300,000 prize purse up for grabs in the World Championship. A quick rundown, but things kick off in the streets of Long Beach. Then they move on to Road Atlanta, Orlando, new event there in Florida. The Wall, we all know the Wall there in June in New Jersey. Then they go to Fuji Speedway in Japan, back to Evergreen Speedway up there in Washington, Texas Motor Speedway, and then Autodrome St. Eustatia in Canada. Then they hit the House of Drift in Irwindale and round things out in China in November. So that is your World Championship calendar for Formula Drift. And other notable news bites, Malcolm Stewart, he has signed with Geico Honda. I know off-season, everybody's wondering where Malcolm Stewart's going to sign. He signed with Geico Honda. He's going to be on a 250 in the West Series. I was hoping he'd sign a 450 deal, as he had a lot of success in the outdoors on a 450, but he's going back to the 250s for the West. I think he's going to be a favorite for the title. Also, UPR.com, one of our longtime sponsors, are dropping a new website in the next couple of weeks. You definitely want to be on the lookout for that. Upcoming events, we got Best in the Desert Henderson. Snowcross, they're kicking the season off in Duluth here in a couple of weeks. And also we've got in Ontario, California, we've got that Endurocross finale. We also got WRX from Argentina and the Snore Rage at the River. Big thanks to Rigid Industries, DirtFish Rally School, UPR.com, Blue Water Resort and Casino, Race Tech USA, Mitchell DeJong, Rob MacCachren, Jenn Hellstrom, and all of you for listening in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show each and every week. Give us a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/Down and Dirty Show, or download the official Down and Dirty Radio Show app today. Available on Apple, iTunes, Google Play, and the Amazon Kindle store. And once again, thanks for listening in. We'll be back next week. I got to tell you, the next couple of weeks got some huge announcements, some huge guests lining up. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. We will not disappoint. And don't forget that Mitchell DeJong interview will be up on the Down and Dirty Radio Show website here in just a few minutes. For those of you that want to catch that, please go and listen. Definitely a solid interview. And don't forget, Jenn Hellstrom, go to dreamjobbing.com and vote for her. Thanks. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with even more Down and Dirty Radio Show. And as always, it is game on.